recruiting to kind of identify some pieces that could help you this year?
You always want to go get guys that help your room get better. We feel like we did that. We got some really good players, but then the other side of it is being aware of the culture fit and what is going to be the dynamics of adding this player to our locker room. So I think we've got the right mix of great players, but also really, really great young men. So we're excited about them.
Got some guys with connections to you as well. I mean, can you tell us a little bit about what you've added from your previous stop?
Yeah, we have Travion Wright was there, as well as Diego Brumfield, two traditional corners that fit exactly that mold I just mentioned a moment ago. Great athletes, love football, and great dudes. Those guys have assimilated extremely quickly into our locker room, and excited about those guys this year.
Program's had a long line of lockdown corners that have gone onto the NFL. Do you feel like Bryce Pollock could be next in line to be that next guy?
He's a really good player. He loves to play. He's got the best trait that any corner can have, which is just being a competitor. He loves to compete. He's got a great feel for the game. Got a lot of upside. I think he can write his own ticket.
Talk to some guys, whether it be in recruiting or that are already here, that talk about you guys like the versatility that they bring, not being really pigeonholed to one position or whatever. What are you looking for in a defensive back?
Yeah, that's a tricky question. Not tricky, but it just depends. I think I've heard people use the analogy as far as recruiting receivers, in that you're recruiting a basketball team, right? You want a couple big guys, you want to have some guys somewhere in the middle, and then some outside guys. And similarly, from the defensive standpoint, you're going to need some guys that'll go, put their nose in there and defend the run. You're going to need some guys that can go out and play in space. You need a guy that can kind of go in there and cover that. Everybody's got that little punt return guy that goes in the slot. So you don't want to be a one-trick pony. You want to have some versatility there, as you mentioned, and anymore, particularly in the SEC, it's such a battle of attrition that if you're a one-position guy, we get 6, 8, 10, 12 weeks into this thing, we're going to inevitably have to be able to move some guys around it to keep the best players on the field. So versatility definitely adds another layer that we're looking for.
Who do you feel fills those roles for your team, though?
Too early to single anybody out in particular for you. Let's ask me that question after training camp. I'll have a better feel for you.
You've coached in a lot of different places. I guess what has stood out to you about coaching and recruiting in the SEC so far?
Just how much it matters. This press conference looks a lot different than the press conferences I've had the last 2 years. Probably quadruple the amount of people here, and that's what we want. It's all about. If you're a competitor and you love football, which we all do at this level, it's about having a chance to compete and play against the best, and that's what you get every day. When you have this caliber of football, you're going to get, let's call it what it is, the highest caliber of media that there is out there. You're going to get high caliber coaches, high caliber players, big stadiums packed full of fans. So a lot to look forward to.
What impact have you seen maybe the speed training has had on your personnel group so far?
Yeah, our guys in our training staff, our strength and conditioning department do a phenomenal job. They're the best in the country, and I think our team is really fit, fast, and ready for the season.
How do you describe Coach Hutzler, both from a scheme perspective and just what it's been like working with him?
Yeah. Coach Hutz and I go back a ways. I was a grad assistant at the university, another SEC school. He was a special teams coordinator at the time. So we've had a great friendship for a long time. Like-minded people. He's extremely intelligent, super detail-oriented, but also relates really well to the players and staff. So it's been awesome. It's the most fun I've ever had in coaching is this experience so far.
People might be down on this defensive back group based probably on the fact that a lot of these guys are new or haven't had a lot of playing time. Why are you high on this group? Why do you feel like this could be kind of a strength of your defense?
Yeah, I think we got a lot of guys with chips on their shoulders, and that's what you want, we're right where we want to be. I hope everybody's sleeping on us and thinks we're not very good. That's right where we want to be. We know we've got talent back there. We know we've got hungry players that love to play football and compete, and we're excited about it.
What did you see from Isaac Smith during spring practice?
Say it again.
What did you see from Isaac Smith?
Isaac Smith. He is who he is every day. Great leader, a vocal guy in a time where it's hard to find vocal players. And he's vocal on the field and off the field. He's not afraid to tell you that, this can be done better. Has a great feel for the game and does a good job. The safety position is really the quarterback of the defense. He's done a nice job with that for us and gets our defense lined up, which is a huge part of it. So a lot to look forward to with Isaac.
He missed the spring last year. He had a shoulder injury, probably set him back a good bit. I don't know if you know much about him from last year, watching any of his film, but can you see the growth that he's made from last year to this year, or even from the spring since you've had him to the
Yeah.
fall?
Yeah, I think anytime you have a kid like that, and we've got a bunch of them, certainly not just Isaac, but guys that are willing to be coachable and want to improve. In this business, at this level, you're competing against such a high level receiver, tight end, running back. Those are the same guys you're in the weight room with every day. So, it's sink or swim. And the guys that want it, they swim and they figure it out and they get better. And that's really the magic of being in the SEC is the caliber of player that you're up against every day forces you to become the best version of yourself. And when you're dedicated and coachable and committed and do the right things all the time, that's what you see with a guy like Isaac.
Is that a Levy thing? That SEC school, and then Coleman said that other school too. Is that a Levy thing, or is the whole coaching staff?
So we're probably talking about two different SEC schools. Yeah, mine was a little. Coleman and I were a little further east. We'll just say that.